Good morning and welcome to the Delco Show. This is Fiore, Executive Director of the Delaware County Brandy Wine Conference and Visitors Bureau, and you are listening to the Delco Show, brought to you by the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce on iRadio Philly. Good morning, folks, and we just want to give a quick thank you, shout out, plug, whatever the nomenclature is these days, to our wonderful sponsors. Number one, Primo Hoagies, who gives us lunch every week, 3 beautiful hoagies that we either devour or we make the executive decision that we're not cooking tonight for our wives, and we're going to eat them, for dinner, and either they can have half of it because they're big damn hoagies, or they're on their own, fend for themselves. They can go and forage in the refrigerator as far as I'm concerned, because, again, last night I had the... what did I cook last night? I did the filet mignons last night with some home fries, which is a nice little trick, Stephen, and asparagus, sauteed asparagus, which is olive oil. Delightful. Anyway, so thank you, Primos, as usual, right on Baltimore Pike in beautiful downtown Media, kind of near the post office, near the Wawa there. So check out Primo's Hoagies. Thank you again. And also, Headroom, which, rents out private office space by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month, by the year. You can become a full-fledged member to Headroom, which gives you access all hours to the various rooms in here. And we are here at Headroom in the Innovation Room, which has been our studios now for what, a couple of months, Stephen? 3 months? Okay, and it's beautiful. We got the big windows and looking out on State Street and letting the trolley interfere with our audio, right, Stephen? But we fixed that, right? And just wanted to let you know that Headroom does a great job, great affordable rates. So check out Headroom at headroom.net, 24 Veterans Square in beautiful downtown Media, or call them at 610-548-5278. Well, I got a little tickle in my throat here, folks. I don't know if it's because I've been laughing so hard or what, but here we go. Or what I'm looking at is making me salivate a lot more than I want to, and I'm not sure whether that's the wine or Carley. Anyway, well, moving along. I'm delighted to be talking to a young lady, one of my favorite wineries, not only because of the great wines they make, but also because they're just fun people, in general. And that young lady is Carley Razzi Mack from Penns Woods Winery at 124 Beaver Valley Road in downtown beautiful Chadds Ford, PA. You can check them out on pennswoodswinery.com or give them a call at 610-459-0808. So, getting all through that. Carley, welcome to the Delco Show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's our pleasure. Believe me, Carley, it's our pleasure because we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, wine.
Mine too.
There you go. And what we have in front of us here, that some of you may see, some of you may not see, because we have a little website we're working on, which is called delcoshow.com. You can take a peek at that. But we have a Penns Woods White Merlot, a Penns Woods Chardonnay Reserve, and a Cabernet Sauvignon from Bancroft Vineyards. So let me start with this, Carley. Mm-hmm. You're called Penns Woods Winery, correct?
We are.
And you've got something from Bancroft Vineyards.
Bancroft Vineyards was a secondary line that we started a few years ago. We have 2 different separate vineyard locations. We have one that's on site in Chadds Ford, and then we have another location out in Coatesville. Bancroft Vineyards is a line we started. We harvest the grapes from both locations. However, we started this line to say thank you to William Poole Bancroft, which was a gentleman who put all of our land into a trust so that it could never be developed.
Was this the guy I could be wrong about this. Is there a place down in there in the Chatsford area called the Bancroft House?
There is, but it's not, I'm not sure how that's affiliated with him.
Okay. So this gentleman actually put all this land into a trust that it can never be developed.
He had two ideas for his land. He had hundreds and hundreds of acres, and he said part of this is going to be kept as green space. The other part of this is going to be low-income housing.
Huh.
So over the years, it's kind of developed, and some of it's low-income housing. The other half is green space, and our vineyard at the tasting room sits on that green space, so it can never be developed.
Got it. Now, your vineyard, how long have you owned that now?
We've been there since 2001. Our first vintage was 2004.
Okay, so you were only growing the wines there. I mean, the grapes there, correct?
Yeah, we grow and we produce at our winery location, which is in Eddystone.
Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. But wasn't there also the Smithbridge wineries there?
We actually took their vineyard over. So
okay, I was trying to get the correlation because our old offices
we're right up the road.
We're right up the road there at that corner.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful location too.
Yeah.
So it was Smithbridge Winery. Once the owners there retired, we kind of acquired those vineyards, and we spent a few years working in the vineyard, retraining the grapes, and kind of producing the fruit that we wanted to use.
Retraining the grapes?
Yes.
That's like a guy. Wait a minute. That's like a guy that gets married. He has to be retrained, right?
Somewhat. So the grapes themselves, they can grow wild, but we train them and trellis them and prune them accordingly to different varietals. So a Cab grape is pruned a certain way and trellised a certain way, and a Chardonnay grape could be different, the vine itself.
I learn something new every day.
Yes.
Wow.
Very
now, I want to go back a little bit in the history, because your dad, Gino, has been doing this for a few years, let's say, right?
Yeah, about 40 some odd years.
So give me kind of a history Reader's Digest version, because he's from Italy, came over from Italy, and he was from the region of Abruzzi.
Yes.
As I was, half of me, what side was it? My mother's side was from Abruzzi. My father was Calabria.
Okay.
So I'm half Abruzzi, half Calabria. There's not many of us full Italians left, sweetie, but I'm just letting you know your offspring are not going to be full Italians. You know that, right?
I do know that.
With a name like Mac. Mac, yeah, with a name like Mac. So anyway, what prompted him to come here to begin with?
He came over to be able to start a new life, build a company, and send money home actually to his parents.
Was he doing wineries in Abruzzi, or what was he doing?
He was not. He actually came over here when he was 17. He studied here in California, and he was an engineer in Vietnam. And he's done a lot before he kind of started the winery.
Yeah.
And then my uncle came over from Italy as well. The two of them started a wine import company, which later turned into a wine import and distribution company. The two of them own them separately now, but they work together. We work in the same buildings.
Sure. But now, and again, I found it fascinating, because when did the distributorship, if you will, was it Essington or Eddystone?
Eddystone.
Eddystone. When did that? Because weren't there tastings there too?
There were not. Nope. Not that I recall. No, this is before my time.
Yes.
So, but
are you calling me old, young lady?
Never.
All right.
Just older.
Okay.
Anyway.
And you just got to say it, done saying, right, Steve? Their hair looked great, right? Thanks a lot.
Thank
kid.
you.
Thanks a lot. Anyway, go ahead.
So they started this wine import company and brought in smaller varietals and companies, imported different wines. Later,
Primarily from Italy?
primarily all from Italy, actually, in the beginning. Now that they've grown over the years, we also import from France, and that's all. Just France and Italy right now.
Okay. So, and they were there how long? How many years were they there?
They've been there for at least 40 years. Or at least, yeah, about 40 years almost. So,
That's
long
fascinating.
time. And that's why kind of our winery ended up there. Because when my father got the bug to start making his own wine, he built the winery directly across the street from his office. Since he was there so often, wines are like babies. You have to take care of them. You have to monitor them constantly.
Where is it located in Eddystone? Get me near a bar.
CD's Tavern.
Got it. I know exactly where you are.
Seville Avenue.
I know exactly where you are. Very interesting tavern, by the way.
Yes.
Without a doubt. So they built up the distributorship and everything. Then they started growing their own wines, making their own wines and whatnot. And then they found the Smithbridge Winery.
Yes. So my father started his first vintage of Penns Woods was 2002, and he had purchased the grapes locally. And once he discovered that, he could make delicious wines from Pennsylvania grapes, he started, to scout a vineyard site. And when he found Smithbridge, he worked on land there, growing, like I said, retraining the vines, and then did his first harvest in 2004.
A little known fact that I know, okay? And I learned this from my wife, who's a closet horticulturist.
Okay.
Okay? We are in this region, okay, so call it the 5-county area, in a weather region called a Zone 7. And a Zone 7 is supposedly a great weather area or weather zone for growing of, flora and also vineyards. Mm-hmm. So I learned that from my lovely wife, from her growing habits and everything. And, she'll sit out there and look at the sun, what the pattern is, before she puts something into our gardens.
Important to study. Study the type of soil.
So the ground, the soil is perfect. The Zone 7, Zone 7 soil, perfect for growing wines.
It is, and it's similar. Our climate kind of variety is similar to the Bordeaux region, so we can make great wines here. It's just a little bit more challenging. Obviously, we have the humidity,
and then you get like those 2 weeks in February,
right?
When you're freezing your ass off.
Exactly. Yeah. Where it's
we're on internet radio. We can say that.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Okay.
No, but
you can talk dirty.
And but we have to be careful also for that frost in February.
Yeah, I know.
Because it can damage the vines.
We got about a minute and a half left here. When did you come into the business?
I started about 6 years ago.
So prior to that, you weren't crushing grapes with your feet?
I was not, surprisingly.
Okay. Just asking.
I went to college at Colorado State University. I graduated with my marketing degree.
My daughter-in-law went to Colorado State University, and her degree came out at economics. Yeah.
Okay, it's an awesome university.
Loved the area, loved the university. Yeah.
Great weather there too.
And you did marketing.
I did marketing. I was living there afterwards, just exploring, living life, seeing what was out there. And then my father called me and said, I've got this business. I've got a lot of wine to sell. I don't have time to sell it. I need you to come back and help the family business.
Daddy called.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right.
Like the good daughter that you are.
Came back.
You came home.
And my sweet boyfriend at the time and now husband came home with me.
Was he a Colorado boy?
He actually was from around here. He's Delaware County as well. And then we both moved to Colorado together, and we both moved back together.
Well, we're going to get back to, you being a Delco gal right after this break, because we're going to go to break right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having a wonderful conversation, and maybe we're going to try some of these wines with Carley Razzi Mack of Penns Woods Winery, PennsWoodsWinery.com, 124 Beaver Valley Road, 610-459-0808. You're listening to the Delco Show on iRadio Philly. Welcome back to the Delco Show. I'm Tori Fiore, and we're speaking with Carley Razzi Mack from Penns Woods Winery. Carley, you're the marketing director there?
I am, yes.
Okay. And also chief cook and bottle washer, possibly?
On the side.
There you go. And it's PennsWoodWinery.com. 124 Beaver Valley Road, Chadds Ford, PA, 610-459-0808. They've got an absolutely wonderful and well-appointed testing. Is it called a testing room? What's it called?
Tasting room.
Tasting room. Tasting room there. And in fact, I don't know if you were old enough to remember, sweetie, but we did a big, the Visitors Bureau did a big membership outing there at your location, right next to the tasting room.
Right.
About, oh God, was it 2006, maybe a little later,
right
something like that?
Right before I joined.
Yeah, we put up a big tent. We had a great time. And Gina was terrific, and we had a lot of fun there.
I've seen pictures.
There you go.
I wasn't invited, though.
There you go. So let me go back to you now. And I'll try to stay away from the, what I'll call the dilemma that you had with your then boyfriend, so that when your dad hears this, he doesn't dislike me and decide he wants to kill me also, okay? Because I know Gino's a big boy, okay? Anyway, and he has a very interesting temper. Nevertheless, Gino, I love you. Anyway, so you're a Delco girl originally from where?
Grew up between Newtown Square and Glen Mills.
Okay. And Mr. Mack, what's his first name?
Eric
Mack. Boy, how Italian is that, Stephen? How far away is that, Eric Mack? I mean, does he have an Irish brogue or something?
He's Swedish.
Meatballs. Swedish meatballs. Anyway, that doesn't make him a bad person.
No, it makes him a wonderful person.
And he was from Delaware County also, right?
He is. He grew up around Bryn Haverford area.
Okay. So we have a Delco gal with us. We get them here at the iRadio Philly Delco show once in a while, and we're always delighted to see that, because we have to train people who aren't from Delco as to the ways of Delco. And some catch on real quick and some don't, Carley, just to say that. So, Delco girl through and through. Where'd you go to high school?
Agnes Irwin.
Agnes Irwin,
right
okay.
in Rosemont.
Lovely private school. Lovely private school. And so you went off to a university, Fairfield. Then you went and studied overseas, Italy.
Studied abroad in Florence for 3 months.
You went with a girl named Florence.
That's right. No,
Okay.
I studied in Florence.
In Florence. And what were you studying there?
I studied marketing. I took a few of my undergrad courses there, some history.
Well, when you say you studied marketing, did you study the Italian market?
No, I did.
Come on, the downtown South Philly. Come on, Carley. The Italian market.
I got you there. Took me a while.
These
Sorry.
kids today,
Slow in the
Steve, and these
uptake.
kids. It only took you 6 months to get my humor. But you're doing well. Was your mother from northern Italy?
My mother is Irish.
That's the beautiful red hair then.
The red hair is actually Italian, because my great-grandfather was from the north, apparently, and he had red hair.
Well, yeah, and that would be primarily the Milanese from that region up there, the northern, because there's a German, transfer up in there, because a buddy of mine, Bobby D'Annunzio, his mother was fully Italian, and she had beautiful, vibrant red hair, and she was Milanese.
Okay.
Yeah, looks great on you though.
Thank you.
I love redheads. They're my downfall, redheads, Carley. I got to tell you, but no freckles.
No freckles. I know. I got some of that Italian skin.
Yeah, counting freckles is always fun. Just saying. Anyway, so you studied there for how long were you overseas? How long?
About 3.5 months.
Okay. You came back, and boyfriend was in Colorado.
Yep.
You decided that you can get your marketing degree at Colorado State University.
Did.
Which you went out and you did.
I did.
Then Daddy beckons you home.
Yes.
Because you stayed out there after graduation, correct?
I did.
What were you working out there when?
I was working. I was working for Clean Water Action. It was a nonprofit.
Doing what to who? What?
Clean Water Action.
Oh, okay.
It's a nonprofit.
Okay.
There's one in Philadelphia, but I was working for the branch in Colorado, and I was their office manager.
Okay. So how long now have you then been working for Penns Woods Winery?
About 6 years now. I just hit my 6th year.
Okay. So you not only market, but do you handle wine tastings also?
I do. I built the website. I do all the social media. I create some of the ads that we use in different, outlets. And on Saturdays or Sundays, I'm at the tasting room doing tastings and helping run events. Now, we do have a tasting room manager who oversees everything on a daily basis to make sure everything runs smoothly. And the two of us, her name is Andrea, we create and run events together as well.
So Daddy keeps you busy.
Very busy.
Yes, I can
Very
imagine
busy.
he does. Now, I know, and you can tell me which kind it is because I have a tendency to forget certain things, but Penns Woods Winery has gotten a great reputation in this area, and I think also, if I'm not mistaken, nationally.
Yes.
And one of the things I do know that, and I don't know if it still is, you can bring me up to date on that, but one of your white wines was the house wine for the Capitol Grill in Philly?
Yes, for the Capitol Grill in Philly.
I mean, that's a great coup.
We were very, very excited about that.
How the hell did that happen? I mean, look, I've tasted your wines. They're great wines. But how the hell did that happen?
I suppose it gets into the right hands. We worked closely with them in tasting, and Sharon, who was the sommelier at the Philadelphia, and I think then she moved to a few others, helped get our wines in there. And they tasted it. They loved it. It was at a price point that they were okay with, and we started pouring it. So it's wonderful to have, people support, local restaurants support local wines.
So what was the wine that was in there as the house white?
Our Chardonnay Reserve, which I did bring for you today.
Right, exactly. And did you have other wines in there to
We did. They put our Merlot Reserve and our Meritage Reserve on by the bottle.
The Meritage, I love Meritage.
Yeah,
I really do.
It's an incredible blend.
Yeah. That's terrific.
Yes, very proud. And there are other restaurants now over the years. It's becoming easier and easier to have our wines and display them in local restaurants because people are kind of getting on the local bandwagon of wanting to support local and pour local products.
But, and again, here's the caveat to that, I think, is that I've tasted the wines of this area. I've tasted the ones up in Bucks County. I've tasted some in Jersey and everything. I'm not an aficionado or an expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I know what I like. I know it tastes good. If you're not putting out as a local winery, and you're not Napa Valley or any of that, or the Ruhr Valley or, any of that, you have to make a damn good product. Because some of the wines you taste from local vineyards just sucks. Well, let's be honest. You can say it.
I think that
they all have their redeeming social value. Okay, fine. Let's go with that. Okay. I didn't mention any names.
They've been changing over the years a lot.
They're getting better.
Every year, we're getting better as a whole. There's a lot of research being done. The viticulture, Penn State has hired a lot of people to help educate and teach all the local vintners and winemakers, how to make wine better, how to improve your product, how to improve your vineyards, how to grow grapes properly. So I think they've been making leaps and bounds over the past, even 6 years since I've started.
Yeah, but you also need the right people that understand wine. It's not.
And you need the time.
Yeah, and it's not a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's a job. It's a business. It's a passion. It's almost an obsession.
Yes, very much so.
I mean, I'm guessing that you felt you made the right decision.
I did.
I
do.
And husband's happy.
Very happy.
He's got a landscaping business out in Haverford.
Yes, he does. Mac Landscape Management.
Okay, so so everything's going fine, and I mean, Gino's been in the business a long, long time. Can you see yourself being in this business for a while?
I do. It's a very exciting business, constantly changing, and I mean, what doesn't make people happy? Wine makes everybody happy, so it's a wonderful place to be in.
And the one great thing, and we have some wineries in the area, such as yours, that have the capacity to do some wonderful events.
Yes.
Give me some of the events that you've done out there. I know we did a membership mixer outside under the tent. I think we did a barbecue.
Yep, and we have we do a lot of different corporate and private events out there. Most of them are tented, unless they're smaller, which are within our tasting room. Mm-hmm. But we invite food trucks that come in constantly.
Good idea.
We have live music every Saturday and Sunday from April through October, which is awesome because we use all local musicians that come in. They hang out, they play. Sometimes there are food trucks on premise at that point. We have local cheeses that we always sell. Mm-hmm. Those are like the smaller events. And then we have more of our larger events where we have painting in the vineyard, where we use Pinot's Palette, which is right in Glen Mills. And
what is Pinot's Palette?
Pinot's Palette, if you're not familiar with the new movement now, it's all about painting and drinking.
Oh, yes, yes. It's where you can go and drink, whether it's wine or something else, and let out your inner self through your creativity.
They have an artist that actually teaches you how to paint one painting.
Right.
Everybody follows along.
Yeah, it's just somebody needed to add an excuse to drink.
It's true. It's an excuse to get together with your girlfriends or, to go out on a date.
Yeah. I can't see a bunch of my buddies and me going out there saying, let's go to a paint party, okay?
I got my father to do it.
We'll get a nice Chablis. Nothing like a good Chablis on a hot summer day.
You'd be surprised how exhilarating getting your inner painter is. Your own Van Gogh.
Sweetie, I know it gives wives or girlfriends or whatever an excuse to get the hell away from their husbands or their boyfriends for a short period of time and let them be themselves. You don't need an excuse, but it's a great marketing idea.
And it's at the vineyard.
And it's at the vineyard, so
it's a better ploy to get your husband to come along with you.
Oh yeah, you've killed two birds with one stone there, kid. I mean, absolutely. What do you foresee happening with Penns Woods Winery?
Continue to grow, continue to make excellent wine. That's always our number one priority. Although we host a lot of events, my father always reminds me that we're not in the entertainment business. We are in the winemaking business.
I know. I've had a conversation with Tino about that.
But we want to bring quality products from, our local farm. And I want to be able to provide it to everybody. We work at, selling it at farm markets, selling it into local restaurants, at our tasting room, making it available to everyone. And continuing to expand our tasting room and hosting events. Hopefully in the future, hosting weddings and other larger events.
Good for you. And it sounds, and again, we've got about 30 seconds left, so we're going to have to get out of here, unfortunately. You love it, don't you?
I love it.
You look
talk all day.
I mean, you look like you're having a good time.
I am.
And that's a treat. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking with Carley Razzi Mack, who is the marketing director and everything else you can think of at the Penns Woods Winery, located at 124 Beaver Valley Road. Check them out at pennswoodswinery.com or give them a buzz at 610-459-4600. 0808. You'll find out about events going on. You'll find out about the different things they have there, the wine tastings and everything. So, Carley, very nice having you with us today on the Delco Show.
Thank you for having me, Tori.
My pleasure. iRadio Philly. See you next week. We are out of here.